I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the Lincoln-Lancaster County Planning Commission of September 7th, 2022. A printed agenda is available outside the hearing room, and a copy of the full agenda, including the staff reports, is available online or at the Planning Department, room 213. The Open Meetings Act is posted just inside the doors at the back of the room. If you parked in the parking lot across the street to the north, the gate is open and no parking coupons are needed. Out of courtesy for those attending this meeting, commissioners, and the staff, cell phones may not be used in the chamber during any portion of this meeting. We appreciate your cooperation. The Planning Commission action today is final on the following items. 1.2, special permit use permit 19D. 1.3, special permit 22027. 1.4, special permit 22028. And 1.5, use permit 103D. Any aggrieved person may appeal final action of the Planning Commission to the City Council or the County Board by filing a notice of appeal with the clerk within 14 days following the action of the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission action on all other items is a recommendation to the City Council or County Board. The first item of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held August 24th, 2022.
So moved, Campbell.
Second, Joy.
Shelley?
Ball,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Core,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Joy,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost,
Yes.
Edgerton,
Yes.
0.
Thank you. The next item of business is the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda will be called at the same time and will not be scheduled for a separate public hearing unless there is a request from someone wishing to speak or at the request of a commission member. I will ask Shelley to read all the consent agenda items into the record. Once those items are read, she will ask if there is anyone wishing to speak. If you wish to speak on an item on the consent agenda, we would ask that you stand and state that item. That item will then be removed from the consent agenda and scheduled as a separate public hearing under Section 3 of today's agenda. All items remaining on the consent agenda will be voted upon in total with a motion for approval. Shelley, will you please call the items on the consent agenda?
Yes, the first item on the consent agenda is 1.1, Comprehensive Plan Conformance 22014, to review a proposed amendment to the 1 and 6 year Lancaster County Road and Bridge Construction Program, fiscal year 2021 and 2022 through 2027, as to conformance with the 2050 Lincoln-Lancaster County Comprehensive Plan. Next item is 1.2, Special Permit Use Permit 19D, to amend an existing SPUP, Special Permit Use Permit, for the Lincoln Surgery Center to allow for an increase in the permitted health care facility square footage by 6,043 square feet, and to reduce the rear yard setback as shown on the plan along the east side of the property, on property generally located at 1710 South 70th Street. This is final action. Next item is County's 1.3, County Special Permit 22027, to approve the Stagecoach Ridge CUP Community Unit Plan for 9 lots on property located at US Highway 77 and Stagecoach Road. This is also final action. Next item, 1.4, Special Permit 22028, to allow for the sale of alcohol for consumption on the premises on property generally located at 1555 Yolanda Avenue. This is final action. Next item, Use Permit 103D, to amend the North Star Crossing use permit to add 1 lot and a private roadway on property generally located at North 27th Street and Enterprise Drive. This is also final action. Are there any ex parte communications to be disclosed on these items?
No.
Are there any ex parte communications that took place or additional information you learned while visiting these sites to be disclosed?
No.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak on these consent agenda items?
Is there anyone here that wishes to speak on any item on the consent agenda? If so, please stand and state that item. Okay. I'll take a motion.
I would move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second, Ball.
Shelley?
Campbell, or Ball?
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Core,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Joy,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost,
Yes.
Edgerton.
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
I will now ask Shelley to call the requests for deferral.
Staff is recommending a 2-week deferral until the next Planning Commission hearing of item 5.1A, change of zone 22013 from AG to R3 on property located at 8451 Eagle Crest Road, and related item 5.1B, special permit 22015 to approve the Paragon Townhome Community Unit Plan with up to 27 dwelling units with associated waivers on property generally located at 8451 Eagle Crest Road. In addition, we also received written communication on behalf of the applicant requesting a 2-week deferral for item 5.2, special permit 21037 for the West Van Dorn Ridge Community Unit Plan for up to 10 dwelling units with associated waivers on property generally located at Southwest 70th Street and West Van Dorn Street. This would also delay public hearing and action to the September 21, 2022 Planning Commission hearing.
I move to defer the 3 items until our September 21st meeting.
Is there a second?
Second, Rodenberg.
Shelley, do you want to call the
Call.
vote?
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Core,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Joy,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost,
Yes.
Edgerton.
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
Is there anyone here who wishes to speak today on the applications that have been deferred until the next hearing? If so, you can testify today instead of at the upcoming hearing. Yep.
We get a reason why it's deferred again, and we don't get anything in the mail. We just have to luck upon that this is happening again. My name is Dan Dull. I own 2 properties.
Will you speak in front of the microphone, please? Thank you.
I own 2 properties adjacent to this, so I thought we were gonna get
Which
done
one are
today.
you referring to?
There's a couple of items in front of us, so can you clarify which item you're speaking about?
Van Dorn. in
Okay.
Southwest 72nd, roughly.
Okay.
State your address too for the record, please.
7150 Redbird Lane. So if I speak now, I can't speak next time, right?
Right.
That's correct.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get it off my chest. There was something in the goals here that stuck in my craw that said, and I could read it verbatim here if I get my phone opened up, but one of your goals is G11, and the last sentence says, acreages must be located in appropriate locations in order to reserve land resources for effective future urban development, agriculture, and the natural environment while preserving the rural quality of life for existing and future residents. So I put my properties on the market on a Monday, and I got your letter on a Tuesday, and now everybody that comes in my house, I got to tell them something's going on up here, and now it's dragging out for another 2 weeks. So
Yeah, in terms of that deferral, all we can share is that the applicant requested that deferral, and if the applicant's not ready to move forward with it, then we're really in a position to, it makes sense for us to defer it until the applicant's ready to move
I
forward.
understand.
Yeah.
Let it be noted that while they could have used any of this property, they chose to abut us. If they were in the middle or the other side, there would be farmland all around this thing, so no one would care. And I don't know, it's just almost antagonistic where it's placed. They're already dumping water on me, which I have to put up with the rainwater, and I hope, I've called a couple people on here, and they said the grade can't be changed, so they can't dump any more water on me. So I guess I'll come back next week and listen, but I would expect that they do not move earth and give me even more water. I only have 60 feet that I have pipe running under that I put, and when I get too much water, it blows it out, and then I can't reach the back of my 7 acres. So it's very frustrating.
Have you talked with the with the developer that's proposing this?
When they came here a few years ago to do the whole thing, I had communication with one of the gentlemen and asked him about maybe this would be a time to divert a little water. It wouldn't be very hard, but after they got shut down and sent back to do this, they didn't answer my emails, so
Okay, thank
I
you.
gave up. So,
I don't know if anyone can share a map. I would love to see where this property is in relationship to this gentleman's property. From the planning department, does anyone have a map that they can show? I mean, I have the map from the report.
We'll see if this one works, otherwise we'll bring it up on the viewer. Glare might be bad on this one.
yep. This red one and the one beside it here, that's us. This is my pond, which gets all the runoff from north of Van Dorn through this little gully here. Really wipes me out, and I'm just hoping this big gully over here doesn't get pushed over to me, because like I say, I got a little strip here that I can get back there to mow and do anything and get to my orchard. So,
And so your orchard's in the back, on the west side of your property?
yeah, it's right back in this area.
Okay, got
here.
it.
And is that sloping down to you? Is that ground higher than yours?
Much.
Or- That's what it appears in the,
Yeah, and this thing was designed to catch runoff and everything, but it's more than the pond can handle. And when we bought it, it was blown out. And I filled it and it's blown out again. So I put 2 pipes in it now, but I just can't handle any more water. So, just for the record.
Great. No, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
And-
thank you.
Can
Oh,
this gentleman still write a letter? Even though he's testified, he could still write a letter to the commission.
that's correct.
Okay,
You could submit
And-
written notice to accommodate what you've shared with us today.
okay, and it would get presented next
That's
time?
correct.
Okay,
and,
It wouldn't get it would be sent to us in advance, and we would have the opportunity to read it
okay,
prior to the hearing.
that would be better written anyway.
and can you also attempt to contact the developers again and see if they're willing to channel that water before it hits your property?
I could try.
And if you might want to go through the planning contact on this. They might have a better contact for the developer.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Is there anyone else wishing to testify today rather than at the deferred hearing? Okay. Okay, we will now proceed to public hearings. Prior to staff making a brief presentation, each staff person should state their name, agency, and address. The applicant will then be requested to present his or her testimony, followed by those who wish to testify in support, followed by those who wish to testify in opposition. The staff will then be given an opportunity to respond to the testimony, and then the applicant shall have an opportunity for rebuttal. If during your testimony you have copies of documents or materials you would like distributed to the Planning Commission members and/or included as part of the record, please provide that information to the clerk for distribution. Each person testifying should state their name and address and shall have 5 minutes to speak, unless additional time is requested and granted. The timer will go off after 4 minutes. Then you will have 1 minute to wrap up this testimony. The Planning Commission will vote immediately at the close of the public hearing unless the commission votes to defer action or continue the public hearing. Shelley, please call the first public hearing item.
The item we have for public hearing is item 4.1, text amendment 22006, amending Lincoln Municipal Code, section 26, chapter 26.27, minimum improvements, chapter 26.23, development standards, section 27, chapter 27.61, non-conforming and non-standard uses, to allow the subdivision of a lot platted prior to 1953 with multiple dwellings. Are there any ex parte communications to be disclosed on this application?
Stephanie, you presented at Mayor's Roundtable, didn't you, about
Yeah.
this? Okay. So I heard Stephanie present this at Mayor's Roundtable. I don't know the date.
last month. I
Yeah,
think,
so the
sometime.
second Monday of the month.
Anyone else? Okay.
Are there any ex parte communications that took place or additional information you learned while visiting any of the site to be disclosed?
No. Stephanie?
Good afternoon, members of the commission. So this request was kind of initiated by several inquiries that we got this year about some of these unusual lots that are scattered throughout the city with multiple dwellings on one lot. The text amendment as proposed would be to Chapter 26, the land subdivision, and Chapter 27, the zoning code, to allow subdivision of these lots that were platted prior to 1953 that have been historically built with more than one home on the lot. The changes would allow the owner meeting the definitions described in this amendment to subdivide the parcel and allow each home to stand on their own lots. On the screen here, and this is also in the packet, we did an analysis of how many lots were in this condition platted prior to the 1950 boundary, and there's, I believe it was 94 lots that have this condition. There's a couple different versions. There's some where there's two dwellings side by side, some front to back where the homes are pretty close to each other, others where there's space between them, and then on corner lots where you have frontage on both sides of the street. One example of how this could work on a lot. So this is a corner lot that has 3 homes that were historically built all on one parcel. Today, there's only one parking stall for all 3 dwelling units. So per this text amendment, the owner could come in, go through the administrative plating process, subdivide the lots into, or the one lot into 3 different lots, each single-family home on its own lot. Nothing would change about how the homes function today. They'll still be 3 single-family homes, just would be able to be sold off to separate owners to maintain the homes. The one parking stall, depending on where the lot line would go, could go with one home or the other. Nothing about the text amendment will allow the owners to preclude building or life safety codes. So if there's not enough room, they may not be able to do it, or they may have to go through lengths to fire rate one wall to make sure there's no issues there. So there would still be a process to make sure that there's no issues with safety with subdividing, but it would be an option for owners of these types of lots. And then finally, this proposed text amendment supports some of the actions in the climate action plan. We've done a couple other text amendments to try and support the goals within the affordable housing action plan, and this would just be another tool and flexibility to help preserve the existing affordable housing stock that we have today. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Dick?
What's the significance of 1953?
That was I believe, Steve can correct me, the year that the zoning code went into effect.
Okay.
So prior to this, the homes could have been built several to a lot. Today, you can't do that in most of our lower density districts.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. Have you talked with any of the owners of those 94 lots, or has anyone talked to you about those?
A couple of homeowners of these types of lots have approached us wanting to be able to split them. We were trying to do it through this lot specifically. We were looking at maybe a historic designation to allow it and do it through a special permit. And in doing some of the research and analysis, not a lot of these smaller, older homes don't have that historic significance and really wouldn't be eligible for that tool. But we haven't reached out to all owners and contacted them.
So for example, in this case, you brought this example, I'm just curious, there's one owner happens to live in one of these 3 lots, or are they all 3 rentals?
I do
know.
not recall if the owner lives in one of them or not.
But it could be either or. It could be someone who's living in one and renting the other 2 or 1 that are on the lot, or it could be that they're all rentals.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Do you plan on contacting these 94 that you've identified and letting them know of this change?
We have not discussed that, no.
I would encourage that if we pass it.
Well, it's one of those, I mean, that the phrase that stood out to me in the staff report, which I really like, and it supports so much of what we're trying to accomplish in our community, is the naturally occurring affordable housing, where we're not, building expenses are so high right now. This is an opportunity to create home ownership for folks in a different context, and I really appreciated that, and I think that this really serves those goals. So that makes sense, I think, from that standpoint. Other questions for Stephanie? You are the staff person. Is there a separate applicant?
Nope.
Okay, that's what I assumed. Is there any testimony in support of this item? Testimony in support? Testimony in opposition? Any additional staff questions that anyone has come up with? Okay.
I would move that we close the public hearing.
Second, Joy?
Shelley?
Ball,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Core,
Yes.
Cruz. Joy,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost,
Yes.
Edgerton.
Yes.
Public hearing closed.
And I would move that we approve text amendment 22006, amending the municipal code, section 26 and 27.
Second, Joy?
Discussion.
Just what you stated earlier, I'm pleased to see this coming forward because it is going to create some opportunities for whoever owns those properties to either put them on the market as individual homes on individual lots, or be able to sell off a couple or one extra. And it just enhances, as you said, Tracy, the ability of some lower priced housing in our community. So I think it's a very smart move.
What was exciting about looking at this application and the map that was presented and the wonderful research that was done is that these homes are in all quadrants of the city. I mean, they're all over in all different types of neighborhoods, and so real opportunities to increase that affordable housing, not just in one particular area, but across the city as a whole.
Yeah, very exciting.
As a realtor, I've run into people that have been trying to sell these or buy one parcel, and it was just a headache. So this would certainly be a fair treatment for those people that own these lots with multiple houses on them.
Great.
Yeah, and
But
I
it-
would,
go
I
ahead,
would, no,
Lawrence.
agree with fellow commissioners, and I think it's a creative way to release somewhat inventory, right, into the market, than traditionally just putting a house for sale. So I like the work that was done.
And I would encourage the planning department to come up with some method to contact these homeowners to inform them of the change in the city codes.
Shelley, will you call the vote, please?
Ball,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Core,
Yes.
Cruz. Yes. Joy,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost. Yes. Edgerton.
Yes.
Motion carried, 8-0.
At this time, anyone wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda may do so. If not, I will take a motion for adjournment.
So moved, Campbell.
Second, Joy?
Shelley?
Ball,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Core,
Yes.
Cruz. Yes. Joy,
Yes.
Rodenberg,
Yes.
Ryman Yost.
Yes.
Edgerton.
Yes.
We are adjourned.
Thank you. We are adjourned.